FESTA 2026. Jungkook and Taehyung suddenly dropped this content. Armies immediately got mental. BTS's name was once again at the center of the internet's gravity. Not because of a stage teaser or a big comeback announcement, but because of something much closer, more personal, and felt unfiltered. Two of the most frequently in the spotlight figures, V, singer, and Jungkook, suddenly appeared with new gym content and workout logs that immediately spread like wildfire in a strong wind. Fans didn't have time to breathe. In the following seconds, social media timelines turned into a sea of uncontrollable reactions. Video clips, workout clips, and screenshots of their updates circulated non-stop. It wasn't just a regular update, but there was something about the way they appeared, calmer, more focused, and it felt like a new phase was beginning without much explanation. For some fans, this wasn't entirely unfamiliar. In recent times, the two had been seen following similar gym routines, and they often came up in fandom discussions as the duo with the most consistent workout chemistry. But this time, the nuance was different. It was more intense, more focused, and felt like part of something bigger. As time passed, the narrative of the gym duo era began to take hold again. Fans began connecting previous moments, near simultaneous workouts, visible physical changes that seemed more focused, and activity patterns that seemed synchronized on several occasions. All of this then formed an emotional conclusion within the community. This wasn't just a routine, it was a phase. Amidst all of this, FESTA 2026 served as a backdrop that amplified the intensity of this moment. It wasn't just an ordinary annual celebration, but felt like a space where every little detail about the members was in the spotlight. When Jungkook and Taehyung's workout logs appeared almost simultaneously, the fandom immediately picked up on an emotional signal that was hard to ignore. The reaction was unstoppable. Within minutes, phrases like "life motivation," "a new era begins," and "this is too real to ignore" filled the comments section and trending topics. There was a mix of awe, emotion, and a bit of chaos that only those who have followed BTS's journey for a long time can understand. But behind all these reactions, there was also a growing sense of curiosity. Fans began to read every tiny detail, the video lighting, the gym outfits, and even the expressions on their faces. Everything was analyzed as if searching for a hidden message behind a simple routine that actually felt so meaningful. Speculation grew even further. Many linked this moment to the major preparations rumored to be coming, including a possible world tour and a long-awaited large-scale comeback. The name Era World Tour began circulating among fandom discussions, symbolizing the growing expectations. The deeper the discussion progressed, the more it became clear that this moment wasn't just about physicality or training. It was about a transitional phase. About how two figures who had always been in the public spotlight were trying to show a stronger, more stable version of themselves, more ready for the next chapter. On the other hand, there was also a more emotional perspective from fans. Many felt that simple content like this actually provided a different kind of closeness. Not a grand stage, not a red carpet, but something that felt like real, everyday life, not staged. Comments on social media turned into a mix of admiration and emotional attachment. Some called it an energy shift, while others felt it was a sign that something big was brewing behind the scenes. Amidst all these interpretations, one thing remained constant: the fandom's rapt attention to the duo's every move. Even small details like rehearsal times or the order of content became the subject of endless discussions. Interestingly, however, no one was truly bothered by the speculation. On the contrary, it all felt like part of a collective experience that can only happen when a fandom has grown together over time. Some fans even said that this moment reminded them of previous eras, when BTS was at a major transition point in their career. There was a pattern that felt familiar, even though the context was different and more mature. Amidst the flood of comments, one word kept repeating itself: consistency. Both Jungkook and Taehyung seemed to be building something that wasn't just about physicality, but also deeper mental discipline and focus. And that's precisely the main attraction. Because the simpler the content, the more room for interpretation it created in the minds of fans. Every second of the video felt like a fragment of an unfinished story. Over time, The discussion became less about two individuals and more about the dynamics of the entire BTS group, which always managed to create huge waves from even seemingly small things. Their immense popularity made every moment significant. In the end, what remained wasn't just fleeting hype, but a sense that something was moving behind the scenes. Something unannounced, unexplained, but already palpable through the energy emanating from these two. And as the night began to fade on the timeline, one thing remained in the fandom's mind. Maybe this wasn't just a workout log. Maybe this was the beginning of a new chapter being prepared with utmost seriousness, quietness, and control. And at that point, everyone waited again. Because whenever BTS moves silently, the world usually has only one choice: pay attention, or be left behind in the wave they create. But just as the euphoria hadn't subsided, the fandom began to notice a small thing that was making things even more chaotic. There was a timing pattern that was almost too coincidental to ignore. Jungkook and Taehyung's posts appeared very close together, as if they weren't just personal updates, but something that had been in sync from the start. Things like this always fueled a long, never-ending speculation among fans. On the other hand, some fans began to notice a change in the tone of the content they saw. Compared to previous years, there was a more mature, calmer feel, far from just a show-off. Even in short videos, their focused aura felt more dominant than mere visual aesthetics. This led many to feel that this phase was no longer about popularity, but about self-empowerment. On forums and social media, discussions deepened beyond knee-jerk reactions. Some try to connect all of this to BTS's busy schedule, while others feel it's part of each member's personal journey as they reach a more serious point in their careers. These two perspectives constantly clash, creating a dynamic that never seems to end. Interestingly, more and more fans are seeing the inspirational side of this moment. For them, seeing Jungkook and V, singers, consistently stick to their gym routines provides a unique motivational boost. It's not just about their physical appearance, but also about discipline, commitment, and how two public figures maintain their rhythm amidst the immense pressures of the industry. But behind all these interpretations, there's also a lingering curiosity. Fans are beginning to wonder if all of this is part of something bigger that hasn't been announced yet. Every tiny detail is reanalyzed, from facial expressions to the atmosphere of the room, as if every element holds clues yet to be revealed. Over time, the gym era narrative, once merely a joke among the fandom, has become a symbol of a new phase. No longer just a trend, but seen as a sign that the members are in full preparation mode. In fact, this term has begun to be widely used in various online communities as a way to describe the energy changes they are feeling. Amidst all this, FESTA 2026 increasingly felt like a grand stage amplifying all these emotions. Every update, no matter how small, instantly became the center of global attention. In this context, even simple content like workout logs transformed into something with far greater meaning than just daily activities. Some longtime fans even began comparing this moment to previous milestones in BTS's journey, when small changes became the beginning of the biggest phases of their careers. The pattern felt familiar, even though the context was now much more mature and complex. And as all the hype slowly began to settle, one thing remained in the back of many's minds: the feeling that this wasn't the end, but rather a beginning that wasn't yet fully visible. Something was being built slowly, quietly, and carefully, and the fandom could only wait, reading every little trace left along the way.